Let's discuss about anti-amoebic drugs. These are the drugs that are useful in the infection caused by anaerobic protozoa, especially Entamoeba histolytica, because other protozoa are relatively non-pathogenic. This is most important pathogenic organism in the protozoa. Hence, these drugs they act against this anaerobic protozoa. Okay. Then coming to classification of anti-amoebic drugs, we classify these anti-amoebic drugs mainly into tissue ameobocides and luminal ameobocides. Okay. In the tissue ameobocides, we have two categories. One is the drugs which acts both on intestinal and extra-intestinal amoebiasis. Another one is that the drugs which acts only on extra-intestinal amoebiasis. Okay, coming to the drugs which acts against both intestinal and extra-intestinal amoebiasis, we have mainly two groups of drugs. One is nitrimidazole and another one is alkaloids. In the nitrimidazole, we have metronidazole, tinidazole, secnidazole, anidazole, satranidazole. In the alkaloids, we have two drugs, emetine and dihydroemetine. Okay, coming to the drugs which acts only on extra-intestinal amoebiasis, only we have one drug, that is chloroquine. And coming to the drugs that act on luminal ameobocides, we have mainly three groups of drugs. One is amides, another one is 8-hydroxyphenolines, and then one more is antibiotics. Coming to amides, we have dialloxanide furoate, and nitazoxamide. Okay, in 8-hydroxyphenolines, we have one single drugs, pin-idochlor. Then coming to antibiotics, we have mainly tetracyclines and paramomycin. Okay, then coming to in this lecture, we mainly focus on metronidazole because this drug is very often used nowadays, right? That's the reason why we are discussing this in this lecture, and this is very important question for our university exams also. So let's start discussing it. And this metronidazole, it's a prototype of nitrimidazole. Okay, it is a prototype of nitrimidazole, and it acts against mainly anaerobic protozoa and anaerobic bacteria, and also micro aerophilic organisms. Okay, coming to spectrum, and the protozoa that against which it acts are Trichomonas vaginalis, Giardia lambda, and Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, Entamoeba histolytica. Then coming to bacteria against which it acts, we have many clostridial species, bacteroids, Physiobacterium, Peptostreptococci, Campylobacter, and H. pylori. And it also acts against Dracunculus medicines, which is a gunia worm, right? And it also acts against Streptococci, and mainly anaerobic Streptococci, and also against spirochetes, Then we'll move to mechanism of action. This metronidazole, it acts especially selectively against anaerobic organism, either it is protozoa or bacteria. First, the mechanism of action, it starts with the diffusion of the drug into the organism. Okay, first the drug will diffuse into the organism, either it is protozoa or bacteria. Okay, it diffuses into the bacteria. In the bacteria, this nitro group of metronidazole will be reduced to nitroradical. This nitroradical is highly reactive. This reaction is done by some redox proteins which are there in the protozoa. Okay, see, let us see the energy generating system in the bacteria, anaerobic bacteria or protozoa. Okay, energy generating system. See, in the bacteria or protozoa, there is a pathway called PF/OR enzyme pathway. This expanded form is pyruvate ferrodoxin oxidoreductase enzyme pathway. I'll write here pyruvate ferrodoxin oxidoreductase pathway, enzyme pathway. What happens is, in this pathway there is generation of electrons, there is production of electrons. These electrons are taken up, are accepted by some electron acceptors. From some electron acceptors in the bacteria will accept these electrons. Okay, this is normal phenomena that happens in protozoa. Okay, our metronidazole, what it does is, this metronidazole will compete with these electron acceptors, thereby preventing the production of energy in the protozoa, thereby preventing the energy generation or disturbing the energy generation system in the protozoa, preventing and disturbing the energy generation process in the protozoa. This is the mechanism of action. Okay, but the reason why metronidazole is inactive against aerobic organisms is, in the aerobic organisms, the very first step, reduction of nitro group to nitroradical, is absent. Okay, this step will not happen in the aerobic organisms. Hence, it is not operatable in the aerobic organism. And moreover, the oxygen which is there in the aerobic organism will also compete for the electrons. Okay, when that means here there is increasing competition for electrons, right? Whenever there is increasing competition for electron, then the action of metronidazole will come down, right? So the reason why it does not act against aerobic organisms is, one is the very first step, nitro group is not getting reduced to nitroradical, and another thing is that there is oxygen will also compete for the electron, right? This is the this is the reason why it does not act as aerobic organism. Suppose you coming to resistance, how this protozoa generates are anaerobic organism, they become resistant to this metronidazole. One is the very first step, the very first step, the efficiency of very first step will come down. The very first step, that is this nitro group will be reduced to nitro radical. This step will be altered, or this capacity will come down, or otherwise this pathway will also come down. P of OR in the pathway will also come down. These are the two important mechanisms by which the protozoa or the anaerobic bacteria will acquire resistance against metronidazole. Okay, this is about resistance. Then coming to pharmacokinetics. Of metronidazole. In the pharmacokinetics, it is orally well absorbed. Almost it's completely absorbed through oral route. Okay, oral route, it's almost completely absorbed, and it has got high volume of distribution, good volume or high volume of distribution. This metronidazole, there occurs therapeutic concentration accumulation in the saliva, CSF, vaginal secretions, and even semina. Okay, therapeutic concentration of drug will accumulate in where? CSF, saliva, vaginal secretion, and even semen. Okay, in the metabolism will take place in liver. In the liver, metabolism will take place mostly by oxidation and glucuronidation conjugation. Okay, and excretion will take place through renal system, through kidney, and half life is almost 8 hours. Okay, this is about pharmacokinetics. Then we'll move to adverse